Grand Arising Soul Fam, I am coming on today to share a Wisdom Keeper story by the Wisdom Keeper deck, The 64 Faces of Awakening by Dr. Rosy Aronson. I've been doing 40 days of devotion by sharing while we have Venus retrograde, adding a little bit of love, especially in places we may not always be feeling it, in times we may not always be having that reflected back to us. And just, before I do these, I always light a candle. And I didn't realize I had already lit this candle. And I just picked it up and really quickly brought it to me. And it just splashed out all around me with candle wax that would have caused a pretty ridiculously bad burn. And I am just marveling at the perfection of the design that it didn't get on me one single bit. I did not get burned, and I just had to sit in a moment of gratitude for just the perfection of that moment, that I can judge myself on what a fool, what a mistake I just made. But I can also look back and say, wow, I am so freaking protected that I could have just scalded off half my body, and the divine said, no, we're gonna not let that happen, so it's gonna come right to the left of you. So here we go. This is why we're contemplating Gene Key 18 today. It's the shadow of judgment, it's the gift of integrity, and it's the divine expression of perfection. This is the sign of Libra. We've got a Libra full moon approaching this weekend. So this starts with a Richard Rudd quote that says, the secret of the gift of integrity is to be able to hold your own space without reacting to your judgments or self-judgments. My wisdom story. From a young age, I knew something was wrong with the way women were treated in my society. My father talked down to my mother, and she let him. Then she'd fret and complained behind his back, but she never spoke up for herself and encouraged the same sense of inferiority in me. In my teens, I became angry. I saw her life as sad and pathetic and promised I'd never be an oppressed woman. So I rejected all things mother. I spoke my mind, I broke the rules, and I took on the world. I became an independent, staunch feminist, refusing to be patronized. It got to a point where my father threatened to disown me. My mother tried to calm the waters, but deep down she felt ashamed of her unruly daughter. I left the country and built a new life as an activist and artist. When my parents visited, I'd watch my father condescend and my mother make nice, and I felt superior to both of them, either rolling my eyes or flying off the handle. I didn't realize just how victimized I felt by my mother's victimization until I was invited to a friend's house to meet her parents. Like mine, they came from a traditional background. The father dominated the conversation. The mother nodded and smiled, but somehow my friend was still able to enjoy them and herself. Her kindness and her acceptance of their limitations brought out the best in them. I began to judge myself for having judged my mother so harshly and for not seeing how similar to my father I'd become. Despite all we'd put her through, my mother kept treating us with respect and gentleness, never losing her temper. For the first time in my life, I saw the strength in her vulnerability. Though she could still benefit from standing up for herself, she had a capacity for compassion and compromise that I desperately needed. Thanks to her, I've devoted my life to helping people understand and work through their childhoods so they can open their hearts and live with integrity. My gift to you. I am here to help you uncover your childhood. It takes courage to uncover the wounds from your past. As you release yourself from the messages and modeling that no longer serve you, you will be free to see and receive the gift from your parents with a soft, compassionate heart. When you are truly in your integrity, it won't be possible to take the judgments of others personally, or to identify as a victim, or of yourself or anyone else. This is not a path to be walked alone, so reach out for support. Allow a friend, therapist, mentor, or spiritual counselor to accompany you as you revisit those painful experiences that hardened your heart, made you feel inferior or superior, and kept you from expressing yourself freely and connecting deeply. Over time, you will learn to judge not from the mind, but from the heart. Questions for contemplation. Where do you tend to feel inferior or superior to others? And who are you being hard on, even if you don't like to admit it? Where is self-judgment most alive in your life? Who are you negatively comparing yourself to? In what ways does your self-judgment keep you from owning and honoring your own inner authority? And what does integrity mean to you? Name one thing you can do today to feel more in your integrity. And lastly, how can perfection be an inspiration in your life rather than a driving force to an unattainable ideal? This is the imagery for integrity. Sending you so much love.